3 months passed on the alien ship. Olivia kept track of time with small marks on the wall near her bed. Her room had changed over time, becoming more comfortable as she gave feedback to the silent servants who brought her food and supplies. The room now had Earth-style furniture, books from her home planet, and even pictures of Earth landscapes on the walls. These changes made her both grateful and worried. It seemed the aliens planned to keep her for a long time. Olivia spent her days learning about the Xari from the computer screen. She learned their language, studied their culture, and read about their 17-planet empire. The screen showed her maps, history, and science, but never answered questions about why she was taken or when she might go home. Zalveth, the alien queen, visited Olivia every day. At first, these visits were short and formal. The queen would ask questions about human biology, emotions, and society. She seemed most interested in how humans adapted to new situations. Your species goes from ice worlds to desert heat with only simple clothing changes, Zalveth said during one visit. The Xari need special equipment to survive even small climate changes. As the weeks passed, the queen's visits grew longer. Sometimes they ate meals together, with Olivia trying strange Xari foods while the queen watched with her 4 eyes. "Why am I really here?" Olivia asked one day. "You call me your mate, but what does that mean to your people?" The queen's tentacle crown changed from purple to a soft blue. Olivia had learned this showed thoughtfulness. "My people are dying," Zalveth said after a long pause. "Not quickly, but surely. For 10,000 years we have controlled our breeding to create perfect Xari. Now we cannot adapt to new diseases or environments. Each generation becomes weaker." Olivia leaned forward. "And humans adapt quickly. You want our DNA? Yes, but not any human would do. We studied 1,000 humans. Your genes show rare adaptive patterns. You can learn new skills quickly. Your body fights off disease better than most. You adapt to new environments faster than others." "So I'm not here for romantic reasons," Olivia said with a small smile. "I'm here as a science experiment." The queen's skin rippled with color. "The concept of romance is not Xari. We select mates for genetic value. But your humor, that is also why you were chosen. Humor shows mental adaptability." That night, alone in her room, Olivia thought about what she had learned. The Xari were desperate. Despite their advanced technology, they were facing extinction because they had engineered their own genetics too carefully. They had removed the chaos that drives evolution. The ship shuddered. Olivia went to her window and saw stars streaking by at impossible speeds. Then the streaking stopped and a huge planet appeared. It was a gas giant like Jupiter, but with rings of artificial structures around it. Hundreds of smaller ships moved between these rings. "We have arrived at the central world," said a voice in her mind. It was Zalveth. "Prepare yourself. Tomorrow, you will meet the High Council." The next day, guards took Olivia to a chamber larger than any she had seen before. Hundreds of Xari sat in rising rows of seats. Some looked like Zalveth, but others had different skin colors or different numbers of eyes. Zalveth stood on a central platform and spoke in the Xari language. Thanks to her studies, Olivia understood most of it. "Honored Council, I present the human selected for the renewal project. Her genetic material shows 97% compatibility with our needs." An older Xari with pale blue skin stood up. "This is against our traditions. Mixing with lesser species will contaminate our pure bloodlines." "Our pure bloodlines are killing us," Zalveth responded. "The human species has survived ice ages, plagues, and their own destructive wars. We need their adaptive strength." The debate continued for hours. Olivia stood silently, feeling like a prize animal at a show. Some council members wanted to study her. Others wanted to send her back to Earth. A few suggested taking more humans for comparison. Finally, the council voted. By a narrow margin, they approved Zalveth's plan. Olivia would stay, and her genetic material would be used to create a new generation of Xari. As guards led her back to her room, Olivia noticed one watching her closely. When they were alone in the corridor, the guard spoke directly to her mind. "Not all of us agree with the Queen. Some believe humans are more than breeding stock. Before Olivia could respond, they reached her room and the guard left. That evening, Olivia found a hidden message in her food delivery system. It was written in Tsari, but she could read it. Not all of us serve the Queen's vision. Some believe humans are more than breeding stock. For the first time since her abduction, Olivia felt a spark of hope. There were Tsari who disagreed with the Queen. Maybe they could help her. Over the next few weeks, Olivia was taken to laboratories where Tsari scientists studied her. They took blood samples, skin cells, and brain scans. They tested her reflexes and problem-solving skills. Through it all, she watched for signs of the rebels who had contacted her. One scientist, a female Tsari named Mevra, was different from the others. She was gentler with the tests and sometimes asked Olivia questions about Earth culture that had nothing to do with genetics. Do humans really create art with no purpose? Mevra asked one day while taking a blood sample. Most of our art has no practical purpose, Olivia confirmed. We create for beauty or to express emotions. Mevra's skin rippled with interest. Fascinating. Tsari art is always educational or historical. The concept of creating beauty for its own sake is radical. After 6 months in the Tsari homeworld, Olivia had learned much about her captors. The Tsari hegemony ruled 17 star systems with advanced technology. They didn't conquer through war but through cultural and technological superiority. When they found a new intelligent species, they offered technology in exchange for resources and obedience. But the Tsari had a secret weakness. Their careful genetic planning had removed the random mutations that drive natural evolution. They couldn't adapt to new diseases or environmental changes. Several Tsari colonies had been lost to local diseases that their bodies couldn't fight. One day, Olivia discovered something shocking. While using the computer in her room, she found a hidden database. It showed that Earth wasn't as ignorant of the Tsari as she had thought. For decades, a secret group of humans had been in contact with the Tsari, trading limited genetic samples for technology. Salveth's abduction program wasn't authorized by either the Tsari Council or Earth's secret contact group. The Queen was acting alone, desperate to save her species. Even more shocking was the discovery that Olivia wasn't the only human in the hegemony. 17 others were held in different locations, each selected for specific genetic traits. That night, Mevra came to Olivia's room secretly. "We don't have much time," the Tsari scientist said. "I am part of the Confluence, a group that opposes the Queen's methods." "You're the ones who left me messages," Olivia said. "Yes, we believe in genetic diversity, but through cooperation, not abduction. Look at me closely." Olivia studied Mevra and noticed for the first time that her features were slightly different from other Tsari. Her eyes were spaced differently, and her skin patterns were unique. "My grandfather was not Tsari," Mevra explained. "The Queen's faction claims purity but uses other species' genetics when it suits them. We fight this hypocrisy." "What do you want from me?" Olivia asked. "Your help. The Queen plans a genetic bonding ceremony in 3 cycles. We will act then, but we need you to be prepared. To do what? To choose. Help us create a new hegemony based on willing cooperation, or remain the Queen's unwilling mate." After Mevra left, Olivia sat thinking for a long time. She had been a prisoner for months, but the Queen had never been cruel. Salveth truly believed she was saving her people. The rebels offered a chance to return to Earth, but they also had their own agenda. They wanted to use Olivia as a symbol for their revolution. As she looked out at the strange stars of the Tsari homeworld, Olivia realized she was caught in the middle of an alien civil war. Her choices would affect not just her own fate, but potentially the future of 17 star systems. "I'm just a scientist from Earth," she whispered to herself. "How did I end up here?" But she knew there was no going back to her simple research mission. Whatever she decided, her life had changed forever. The small research ship floated quietly near Saturn's rings. Inside, Dr. Olivia Mason looked at data on her screen. She had been here for 3 months, studying the ice particles in the rings. Olivia was the best xenobiologist from Earth, sent to find signs of alien microbes that might live in the rings. Olivia stretched and pushed her brown hair from her face. She was tired after 18 hours of work. The research ship was small but comfortable enough for one person. Earth was just a tiny blue dot from here, and sometimes she missed home. Just 2 more weeks, she said to herself. Then I can go back to Earth with all this data. A sudden alarm made her jump. Red lights flashed across the control panel. Something was approaching her ship. Something big. Olivia rushed to the window. What she saw made her freeze. A massive black ship had appeared next to hers. It was shaped like a giant arrowhead and was at least 50 times bigger than her small research vessel. The surface of the ship looked like black glass that absorbed all light. This isn't possible, Olivia whispered. No ship from Earth was this big, and no ship could appear out of nowhere like this. Purple light shot out from the alien ship. It surrounded Olivia's vessel completely. Her equipment went dead. The lights turned off. Then she felt a strange pull, like her whole ship was being moved. "Mayday, Mayday," Olivia called into the radio, but there was no response. The communication system was dead too. The purple light grew brighter until Olivia had to close her eyes. When she opened them, she was no longer in her ship. She was standing in a large room with high ceilings and walls that seemed to be alive. They pulsed with light and changed colors slowly, like they were breathing. The floor beneath her feet felt warm and slightly soft, like living tissue. There was no clear source of light, yet the whole room glowed with a soft blue light. "Hello?" Olivia called out. Her voice echoed in the big room. "Is anyone here?" A section of the wall opened up without a sound. A tall figure stepped into the room. Olivia gasped. The being was clearly not human. It stood at least 7 feet tall with a slender body. Its skin shifted colors from deep blue to purple, like an octopus might change its skin. The alien had 4 eyes, 2 large ones where a human's eyes would be, and 2 smaller ones above them. All 4 eyes watched Olivia with clear intelligence. The alien's head had what looked like a crown made of thin, glowing tentacles that moved, slightly on their own. It wore a close-fitting outfit that seemed to be made of the same living material as the walls. When it spoke, Olivia didn't hear the words with her ears. The words appeared directly in her mind. "I am Zalveth, Queen of the Tsari hegemony. You are now in my domain, human." Olivia tried to stay calm. Her scientific training had prepared her to be objective in strange situations. But nothing had prepared her for this. "My name is Dr. Olivia Mason. I'm a scientist from Earth on a peaceful research mission. Why have you taken me from my ship?" The alien queen moved closer. Her movement was smooth, almost like she was floating rather than walking. "We have been watching your species for many years, Olivia Mason. Humans are primitive in technology but fascinating in other ways. Your DNA has qualities that interest us greatly." The queen circled around Olivia, studying her from all angles. Olivia felt like a specimen under a microscope. "After studying 1,000 human specimens, I have selected you as my genetic complement," Zalveth continued. "Your protests mean nothing, human. You will be my mate." Olivia stepped back in shock. "Mate? That's impossible. I need to return to Earth. People will be looking for me. No one will find you here. We exist in spaces between what your science can detect. The Tsari have mastered travel through dimensions your people haven't even discovered yet." 2 more aliens entered the room. They were similar to the queen but smaller, with only 2 eyes and no crown of tentacles. They wore armor that seemed to be part of their bodies. "These guards will show you to your living space," the queen said, in Olivia's mind. "You will be treated well. In time, you will understand the honor of being chosen." "Wait," Olivia said. Her scientific curiosity pushed through her fear. "Why me? Why do you need a human at all?" The queen's tentacle crown glowed, brighter. "Because your species has something my empire requires, adaptive resilience. And you specifically possess genetic markers of exceptional quality." The guards moved to either side of Olivia. They didn't touch her, but she felt a gentle pressure pushing her to follow them. "Study the information we provide you," the queen said. "Learn about us. In 3 cycles, I will return to continue our discussion. Olivia had no choice but to follow the guards. They led her through corridors that seemed to be alive, pulsing with light and occasionally changing shape as they walked. Other aliens watched as they passed. Some looked similar to the Queen, while others were completely different life forms Olivia couldn't even begin to classify. The guards brought her to a room that was clearly prepared for a human. There was a bed, a table with food and water, and even some books that looked like they were from Earth. The Queen will provide for all your needs, one guard said into her mind. Rest now. They left, and the wall sealed behind them, with no visible door or seam. Olivia was alone. She sat on the bed and tried to think clearly. She was a scientist, trained to observe and analyze. Right now, that was her best tool for survival. The ship rumbled slightly. Through a small window, Olivia saw Saturn growing smaller. The ship was moving, taking her away from the solar system. I need to stay calm, she whispered to herself. Watch everything. Learn everything. Find a way to communicate with Earth. Olivia looked at the strange food on the table. It looked almost like Earth food, but not quite right. She was hungry, but nervous about eating alien food. In the corner of the room was a device that looked like a computer screen. Words in an alien language scrolled across it, then changed to English. Welcome, Olivia Mason. This database is available for your education about the Tsari hegemony. Olivia approached the screen. If she was going to survive this, she needed information. She needed to understand who these aliens were, what they wanted from her, and most importantly, how she might get back home. The screen showed an image of stars, thousands of them, with 17 systems highlighted. The Tsari hegemony spans 17 star systems, the screen explained. You are now traveling to the central world of our empire. Olivia took a deep breath. Whatever was going to happen, she would face it with courage and intelligence. She was no longer just a scientist. She was now Earth's first ambassador to an alien civilization, whether she had asked for the job or not. Olivia spent the next weeks preparing for whatever might happen. She studied Tsari technology more deeply and learned to access parts of their computer system that were supposed to be hidden from her. With each new discovery, the truth became clearer and more complicated. Earth had known about aliens for decades. A secret group called the Stellar Exchange Office had been meeting with Tsari representatives since the 1980s. They traded limited human genetic samples for technological hints that had helped Earth advance quickly in computers, medicine, and space travel. But Zalveth's plan to use human genetics more directly had not been approved by either side. The Queen was acting alone, desperate to save her dying species. One night, Olivia found a way to send a message through the Tsari communication system. She couldn't reach Earth directly, but she could contact other parts of the hegemony. She sent a simple message to the locations where she believed other humans were being held. You are not alone. Contact me through Tertiary Data Node 7. Within days, she received responses from 14 different humans. Like her, they had been selected for specific genetic traits and were being held in comfortable but secure facilities. Some had been captives for years. A man named Alan had been taken from his fishing boat 5 years ago. He told Olivia that the Tsari were studying his unusual immune system that had helped him survive 3 different cancers. A woman named Diane had been abducted while hiking in Colorado. The Tsari were interested in her body's unusual ability to process oxygen efficiently at high altitudes. Each human had something special in their genes that the Tsari wanted. Together, they shared information and formed a loose alliance even though they were scattered across different planets. Meanwhile, Mevra visited Olivia more often, bringing news of the Confluence Rebellion. They had members in every part of Tsari society, scientists, ship captains, even members of the High Council. They had been planning for years, waiting for the right moment to act. Why now? Olivia asked during one secret meeting. What makes this the right time? Mevra's skin rippled with dark colors showing concern. The Queen's genetic program is reaching its final stage. If she succeeds, the pure Tsari bloodlines will be preserved, but at a cost. The mixing will only be allowed for her line while the rest of us must maintain purity. We will still face extinction, just more slowly. And what do you want instead? Open exchange with compatible species, voluntary genetic sharing, freedom to evolve naturally. Mevra paused. Many of us already have mixed ancestry, though we hide it. Look closely at me. Olivia studied her Tsari friend. She had noticed before that Mevra looked slightly different from other Tsari, but now she saw the differences more clearly: the shape of her eyes, the pattern of color on her skin. They weren't fully Tsari. My grandfather came from a world called Narix. His people are peaceful philosophers with natural telepathy. The Queen's faction would call me impure, but my mixed genes make me stronger, not weaker. The rebellion's plan was taking shape. They would act during the alignment ceremony, the ritual that would prepare Olivia and Zalveth for genetic bonding. Security would be focused on the ceremony itself, giving the rebels a chance to take control of key systems. And what happens to me? Olivia asked. You will have a choice, Mevra said. Help us create a new hegemony based on cooperation, or return to Earth. We will not force you either way. The day before the ceremony, Zalveth visited Olivia. The Queen seemed different, less imperious, more thoughtful. Tomorrow you will become part of Tsari history, Zalveth said. Are you prepared? Do I have a choice? Olivia asked. The Queen was silent for a long moment. I have not been entirely honest with you, Olivia Mason. This was unexpected. About what? About why you, specifically, were chosen. The Queen's tentacle crown glowed softly. You were not randomly selected from 1,000 humans. You were chosen because your genetic pattern matches mine more closely than any other species we have encountered. What does that mean? It means that despite evolving on different worlds separated by vast distances, your DNA and mine share certain key sequences. This is extremely rare. The Queen moved closer. It means our genetic bonding has a higher chance of success than any other option. So I'm just the best breeding stock available? Olivia tried to keep the bitterness from her voice. No. You are much more. Zalveth's 4 eyes focused intently on her. I am the last pure Tsari Queen. Without successful genetic integration, my lineage ends, and with it, the hegemony falls. Your cooperation isn't merely desired, Olivia Mason. It's essential for the survival of 17 star systems. For the first time, Olivia saw vulnerability in the Queen. Behind the imperious manner and alien features was a leader trying desperately to save her people. There's something else you should know, Olivia said carefully. Your rebels, the Confluence, they're planning to attack during the ceremony tomorrow. Zalveth's skin flushed with dark colors of alarm. You know of this? Why would you tell me? Because I want to find a better solution, one that doesn't involve civil war. Olivia took a deep breath. The Confluence wants open genetic exchange among all species. You want to preserve the Tsari by controlled integration? Is there no middle ground? The Queen's tentacle crown rippled with changing colors as she considered this. Perhaps. But traditions are not easily changed. Many would resist. Then change them slowly. Start with yourself. Show that integration can work without destroying what makes the Tsari special. Their conversation lasted hours. By the end, they had the beginnings of a plan. Not perfect, but possibly better than civil war. The next day, Olivia dressed in the ceremonial robes the Tsari had prepared for her. They were made of a living material that adjusted to her body, temperature, and changed colors subtly as she moved. Guards escorted her to the great ceremonial hall. Thousands of Tsari had gathered to witness the historic event. The High Council sat in their special section, their skin colors showing a mix of approval and disapproval. Zalveth waited on a raised platform, wearing elaborate royal attire that made her tentacle crown seem even larger and more impressive. As Olivia walked toward her, she saw Mevra and other Confluence members in position around the hall, ready for their planned attack. The ceremony began with ancient Tsari words that Olivia only partly understood. Priests moved around them, waving smoking objects that released sweet-smelling blue mist. Galveth spoke the traditional words, With this union, we secure the future of the Tsari for 10,000 years more. That was the signal the rebels had been waiting for. Suddenly, the lights in the hall flickered, alarms sounded. Mevra and dozens of other Confluence members revealed hidden weapons and moved toward the platform. But before they could reach it, Zalveth raised her hands. "Stop! There is no need for violence today." Everyone froze in surprise. This wasn't part of anyone's plan. "For too long we have clung to traditions that are killing us," the Queen announced, her voice echoing in everyone's minds. "The Confluence is right that we need change. But change need not come through rebellion." Murmurs spread through the crowd. The rebel leaders looked confused. "Today I propose a new path," Zalveth continued. "Not forced integration, not pure isolation, but voluntary exchange. A council of all species within the hegemony to determine our shared future." Now the murmurs grew louder. Some council members stood up in protest, others looked thoughtful. "As proof of my commitment to this new path," the Queen said, "I release all human subjects held throughout the hegemony. They will be free to return to Earth or to stay as honored guests and advisors." Olivia stepped forward to stand beside the Queen. They had planned this part together the night before. "I came here as a captive," Olivia said, her voice amplified by Tsari technology so all could hear. "But I have learned that the Tsari are not evil. They are desperate. Their careful breeding has removed the chaos that drives evolution. They need help." She looked out at the crowd, seeing a mix of emotions on alien faces. Humans have faced extinction many times. Ice ages, plagues, wars. Each time we survived because we adapt, we change, we find new solutions. Mevra stepped onto the platform to join them. This wasn't planned, but Zalveth allowed it. The Confluence accepts the Queen's proposal, Mevra announced. "We will work together for a new hegemony where all species are valued for their unique qualities." For a moment, it seemed the crisis had passed. Then a group of Tsari guards loyal to the more conservative council members moved forward, weapons ready. "This is treason!" shouted an elderly council member. "The Queen has been corrupted by human influence. Seize them all!" Chaos erupted in the Great Hall. Some Tsari sided with the Queen, others with the conservative council members. The Confluence. Rebels fought to protect Olivia and Zalveth. In the confusion, Olivia, Zalveth, and Mevra escaped through a hidden passage behind the ceremonial platform. They ran through secret corridors within the massive structure. "This isn't how I hoped things would go," Olivia said as they rushed along. "Change never comes easily to the Tsari," Zalveth replied. "But we have started something that cannot be stopped. Now we must survive to see it through." They reached a small hangar where a ship waited. It was smaller than the one that had abducted Olivia, but still impressive by human standards. Civil war spread quickly across the Tsari hegemony. News traveled faster than their ships, jumping from world to world through the Tsari communication network. Each planet and space station had to choose sides, stay loyal to the traditional High Council or support Queen Zalveth's reforms. Olivia, Zalveth, and Mevra traveled to the outer colonies gathering supporters. Their first stop was a mining outpost where Alan, one of the abducted humans, was being held. The facility's commander joined their cause without fighting, freeing Alan and his Tsari scientists. 5 years I've been here," Alan told Olivia as their ship left the outpost. "They weren't cruel, but they treated me like a lab specimen, not a person. Hard to believe the Queen herself is now fighting to free us." "She's changing," Olivia said, watching Zalveth speak with Mevra on the other side of the ship's command center. "She still wants to save her people, but she's learning there are better ways than force." One by one, they visited the facilities where humans were being held. Some joined their growing fleet, while others chose to stay and help their Tsari friends prepare for the coming conflict. By the time they had visited 10 facilities, their movement had grown to include 30 ships and thousands of supporters from various species. Back on the Tsari homeworld, the conservative faction of the High Council had declared Zalveth a traitor. They sent warships to hunt down her fleet and attacked colonies that supported her. "They're more brutal than I expected," Zalveth admitted, as they received news of another loyalist attack on a peaceful colony. They would rather destroy the hegemony than see it change. The war in space was matched by a war of information. Both sides sent messages throughout the hegemony, trying to win support. The conservatives claimed Zalveth had been mentally contaminated by human contact. Zalveth's supporters spread the truth about the Tsari's genetic stagnation and the need for change. Olivia found herself becoming a key advisor to Zalveth. Her human perspective offered new ways of thinking about old problems. She suggested tactics that Tsari had never considered and helped draft messages that would appeal to colonies with mixed species. "You're becoming quite the revolutionary leader," Mevra told her one day as they worked on battle plans. "Not by choice," Olivia replied. "I'm still just a scientist trying to get home, but I can't leave while this war continues." In truth, Olivia's feelings were more complicated. She still missed Earth, but she had formed deep connections with the rebels, especially with Zalveth. The Queen was not what Olivia had first thought. Beneath her imperious manner was a leader willing to risk everything to save her people, even her own position and traditions. 3 months into the war, a major development changed everything. A fleet of ships entered the hegemony from outside, ships of a design no one recognized. The newcomers didn't respond to Tsari communications and moved steadily toward the homeworld. Then Olivia received a private message through the Tsari network. It was in English, not Tsari. "Dr. Mason, this is Admiral Kate Harper of the Earth Defense Fleet. Yes, Earth has a defense fleet now. We've been busy since you disappeared. We're coming to bring you home. Hold tight." Olivia stared at the message in shock. Kate Harper had been her research partner and friend on Earth, and now she was commanding a fleet of ships that shouldn't exist. "Earth has sent ships," Olivia told Zalveth and Mevra. "Advanced ships. My friend is leading them." Zalveth's skin darkened with concern. "How is this possible? Your planet didn't have such technology." "Apparently we've been preparing for this possibility for years," Olivia said, thinking about the secret agreements she'd discovered. "The genetics program was always two-sided. Earth gained Tsari technology while you studied our adaptability. The Earth fleet made contact with both sides in the Civil War, offering to negotiate. Admiral Harper requested a meeting with Zalveth's faction first. 3 days later, her shuttle docked with the rebel flagship. Kate Harper was just as Olivia remembered, her tall, confident, with short gray hair and piercing eyes. But now she wore a uniform Olivia had never seen before, with insignia that suggested a Space Force Earth wasn't supposed to have. "Olivia," Kate embraced her warmly. "When you disappeared from Saturn, we feared the worst. It took us months to confirm you'd been abducted. How did Earth build these ships so quickly?" Olivia asked. Kate's expression grew serious. "We didn't build them quickly. We've been building them slowly in secret for 40 years, ever since the first Tsari contact in the 1980s. She explained that the Stellar Exchange Office had been more than just a diplomatic channel. It was a cover for a massive technological development program. While officially trading small genetic samples for minor technological hints, Earth scientists had been reverse engineering Tsari technology from those hints. "We knew someday we might need to defend ourselves," Kate said, "or rescue our people." The meeting with Zalveth and the rebel leaders was tense. Earth wasn't taking sides in the Civil War, Kate explained. They wanted only to ensure the safety of all abducted humans and to establish formal diplomatic relations with whatever government emerged from the conflict. "But we are concerned about reports of genetic experimentation on humans without consent," she added firmly. "That must end immediately." "It already has," Zalveth assured her. "All human subjects have been freed, or soon will be. We propose a new relationship based on mutual consent and benefit." Afterward, Kate met privately with Olivia. "You can come home now," she said. "Your family thinks you died in a research accident. We can fix that, bring you back to your old life." Olivia looked out the viewport at the stars. "My old life feels very far away now, Kate. I've been part of something important here." "You've gone native?" Kate asked with a raised eyebrow. "No, not exactly. But I've seen things, learned things. I'm not sure I can just go back to studying." "Ice particles," Kate studied her old friend carefully. There's more, isn't there? You've grown close to the alien queen. Olivia didn't deny it. Zalveth is complicated. She did wrong by abducting humans, but she's trying to create something better now. And she needs help. Help that only you can provide? Maybe. I've been studying Tsari genetics. I think I might have found a solution to their problem that doesn't involve breeding programs at all. Kate sighed. I can't order you to come home, but at least visit Earth, see your family, before you make any final decisions. The Earth fleet's arrival changed the war's direction. The conservative Tsari faction, realizing that humans had advanced technology they hadn't anticipated, became more willing to negotiate. After a major battle near the Third Colony world, both sides agreed to a temporary truce. Peace talks began on a neutral space station. Representatives from the conservative faction, Zalveth's rebels, Earth, and several other species gathered to discuss the hegemony's future. During this time, Olivia worked frantically in a laboratory on the rebel flagship. Her idea had come from studying both human and Tsari genetics. The Tsari problem wasn't just that they had bred out diversity. They had also accidentally deactivated key parts of their genetic code that allowed natural adaptation. It's like they turned off their evolutionary engine, she explained to Zalveth and Kate. But those genes aren't gone, just dormant. I think we can reactivate them. The process would be complex and would need to be tested carefully. But if it worked, it could restore the Tsari's natural ability to adapt without requiring crossbreeding with other species. While the politicians argued at the peace conference, Olivia and a team of scientists from multiple species refined her idea. The first test subjects would be volunteers from Zalveth's faction who believed in the cause. 5 weeks after the procedure was developed, the first results came in. The treated Tsari showed signs that dormant adaptation genes were becoming active again. Their immune systems responded better to new challenges, and their bodies showed improved ability to handle environmental changes. Zalveth decided to make a bold move. At the peace conference, she announced that she would be the next test subject for the procedure. If our queen is willing to be the first of the royal line to undergo this treatment, it shows her commitment to our future, Mevra told the assembled delegates. The conservatives were suspicious but intrigued. Their own scientists confirmed that Olivia's procedure might work. After long debate, they agreed to a compromise. If the treatment proved successful on Zalveth, they would accept the formation of a new government, a council with representatives from all species in the hegemony, including humans. The procedure took 3 days. Olivia stayed by Zalveth's side throughout, monitoring every change. The genetic reactivation was more complex in the queen because of her royal bloodline, which had been even more carefully controlled than other Tsari are. You afraid? Olivia asked as they prepared for the final phase. Yes, Zalveth admitted. Not of the procedure, but of change. For 10,000 years my ancestors ruled by claiming genetic perfection. What am I if not the perfect Tsari? Something better, Olivia said. A Tsari who can adapt and grow, who can lead your people into a future where they don't just survive, but thrive. 5 years passed since Olivia first set foot on a Tsari ship. The hegemony had changed dramatically in that time. The new Interspecies Council governed the 17 star systems, with representatives from all major species working together. Earth had become a valued member, contributing ideas and technology while learning from older spacefaring races. Olivia divided her time between Earth and the Tsari homeworld. On Earth, she served as a science advisor to the Human-Tsari Relations Committee. On the Tsari world, she continued her work on genetic restoration, helping thousands of Tsari regain their natural adaptability. The genetic therapy she had developed with Tsari scientists had been refined over the years. The results exceeded everyone's hopes. Treated Tsari showed improved health, stronger immune systems, and greater ability to adapt to new environments. They could now survive on different worlds without the special equipment they once needed. More importantly, Tsari children born to treated parents showed natural genetic diversity. For the first time in thousands of years, Tsari children were being born with slight variations. The foundation of natural evolution. Zalveth remained queen of the Tsari, though her role had changed. She was now one voice on the Interspecies Council, not an absolute ruler. She had been the first royal Tsari to undergo genetic restoration, and her example had convinced many traditionalists to accept the new way. Olivia and Zalveth's relationship had also evolved. What began as captor and prisoner had become a complex partnership. They worked together to guide both their peoples through the challenges of this new era. Their different perspectives often led to creative solutions that neither would have found alone. They weren't mates in the traditional Tsari sense. Zalveth had abandoned her original plan for direct genetic bonding when Olivia's therapy proved successful. But they were partners in a different way, intellectual and emotional companions who had reshaped a civilization together. On a warm evening on the Tsari homeworld, Olivia stood on the balcony of the science complex, looking out at the gas giant planet and its ring of habitats. Zalveth joined her, her 4 eyes reflecting the planet's soft light. "The council approved the expansion project today," Zalveth said. 3 new habitat rings will be built, designed for mixed species communities. "That's wonderful news," Olivia replied. "And the educational exchange program, also approved. 200 young Tsari will study on Earth next year, and a similar number of humans will come here." They stood in comfortable silence for a while, watching ships move between the habitat rings like glowing insects. "Do you ever regret it?" Zalveth asked suddenly. "Staying here, helping us? You could have returned to your old life on Earth." Olivia considered the question. "My old life feels like a dream now. I was studying ice particles in Saturn's rings, hoping to find microscopic alien life. Instead, I found an entire galactic civilization." She smiled. "No, I don't regret staying. Even though I abducted you, declared you would be my mate against your will, that was the old you. We've both changed." Olivia turned to look at the Tsari queen. "Your people have a saying, 'The path shapes the traveler.' Our path has been strange, but I like where it has led." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of a human delegation. Earth's ambassador to the hegemony, Diane Chen, approached with several aides. Diane had been one of the abducted humans, chosen for her unusual oxygen processing abilities. Like Olivia, she had chosen to stay and help build the new relationship between their species. "Olivia, Your Majesty," Diane greeted them with a small bow. "The Earth ship has arrived with the research team." This was the project Olivia had been waiting for. Earth's top genetic scientists were coming to work with Tsari experts on applying what they had learned about genetic restoration to human medicine. The techniques developed to help the Tsari might now help humans fight genetic diseases. "The team leader is eager to meet you both," Diane continued. "She's bringing some interesting preliminary results." As they walked to the meeting hall, Olivia thought about how far they had come. 5 years ago, she had been a prisoner on an alien ship. Now she was helping lead a scientific exchange that might benefit both species for generations. The Earth science team was settling into the meeting hall when they arrived. Their leader, Dr. Maya Williams, was an old colleague of Olivia's from her university days. "Olivia," Maya embraced her warmly. "It's so good to see you in person after all our virtual meetings." She turned to Zalveth and gave the Tsari greeting, gesture they had practiced, a specific movement of the hands that acknowledged the Queen's position while indicating friendly intent. "Your Majesty, it is an honor to meet you. Your support for this research has been invaluable." The meeting lasted hours as the combined team of human and Tsari scientists discussed their progress. They had found ways to adapt the Tsari genetic restoration techniques to human DNA. Early tests showed promise for treating several genetic disorders. "We believe this approach could help with cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and potentially some forms of early-onset Alzheimer's," Maya explained, showing data on the large display screen. A Tsari scientist named Velnor added, "And our team has discovered that human adaptive genes might help us develop better treatments for several Tsari conditions." After the formal meeting, Olivia took Maya on a tour of the science complex. They walked through laboratories where humans and Tsari worked side by side, using equipment that combined technologies from both worlds. "It's incredible," Maya said, watching a Tsari researcher use a modified human microscope to study cell samples. "When you disappeared, we thought you were dead. Now you're helping run the biggest scientific collaboration in human history." "Life takes strange turns," Olivia replied. "When Zalveth told me I would be her mate, I thought my life was over. Instead, it was just beginning." That evening, representatives from 12 species gathered for a celebration marking 5 years since the formation of the Interspecies Council. The grand hall was filled with beings of all shapes and sizes: tall, willowy Tsari, stocky, six-limbed Naricians, human diplomats and scientists, and many others from throughout the hegemony. Zalveth gave a speech that was transmitted to all 17 star systems. She stood on the same platform where 5 years earlier the rebellion had erupted during the abandoned mating ceremony. "5 years ago, we stood on the brink of civil war," she said, her voice reaching into the minds of all present. "The Tsari faced extinction through our own genetic stagnation. We had removed the chaos that drives evolution, thinking we were creating perfection. Instead, we engineered our own decline." She gestured to Olivia and the other humans present. "Our salvation came from an unexpected source, not through conquest or forced breeding, but through cooperation and shared knowledge. Together, we found a better way forward." After the speech, Olivia mingled with the guests. She spoke with representatives from Earth, from the outer Tsari colonies, and from species she was still learning about. Everywhere, she saw signs of the new hegemony taking shape. Not an empire ruled by one species, but a community of different beings working together. Later, she found a quiet moment with Zalveth on a balcony overlooking the celebration. "I received an interesting proposal today," Olivia said. "Earth wants to establish a permanent scientific outpost in the Andromeda Galaxy. They're looking for someone to lead the expedition. Someone who understands both human and alien perspectives." Zalveth's skin rippled with surprise. "You would leave the hegemony?" "Not permanently, but it would be a 5-year mission." Olivia watched the Queen's reaction carefully. "I'm considering it. The Andromeda Galaxy is far beyond our reach. We have barely explored our own galaxy. That's why it's exciting. New species, new worlds, new possibilities." Olivia smiled. "And they've invited Tsari scientists to join the expedition. It could be the next step in our partnership." Zalveth was quiet for a long moment, her 4 eyes looking out at the stars. "5 years ago, I would have forbidden such a thing. I would have declared that you belong here with me. And now I understand that true bonds cannot be forced." The Queen's neural crown glowed softly. "If this expedition is what you wish, I will support your decision." "I haven't decided yet," Olivia said. "There's still much to do here," and she hesitated. "I've grown attached to this place, to the work we're doing together." "To me?" Zalveth asked, with a directness that was still sometimes startling. "Yes, to you," Olivia admitted. "We've come a long way from your protests mean nothing human." The Queen's skin showed patterns of amusement. "Indeed. Though I maintain I was right about one thing. You did become important to the future of the Tsari, just not in the way I expected." They were interrupted by a messenger. Another crisis needed the Queen's attention. As Zalveth left, Olivia remained on the balcony, looking up at the unfamiliar stars of the Tsari homeworld. Her life had taken the strangest possible turn that day near Saturn's rings. She had lost her old life, but gained something she could never have imagined: a role in reshaping a civilization, bringing together different species and perhaps changing the course of galactic history.